So I become friends with Dean Martin. He hangs out at a restaurant that I go to. In fact, when I was a fighter here, my manager said, I had one of these managers, Italian guy, you know what I mean? And he said to me, and usually those guys, you know, what about me? But when I got my job in Hollywood, he told me, when you go to Hollywood, go to Carmine's restaurant, ask for Frankie or Carmine, and tell them you're Cha-Cha's fighter, maybe they'll feed you. That was his attitude. He was like, there you go. So I went to this place and I became friendly with these guys and I started hanging out there. And Dean Martin happens to hang out there. So I become friends with Dean Martin, and my brother actually went out with his daughter. Which, imagine I would have been in a family. So anyway, so I become friends with Dean. And my mother, I tell my mother, hey, you know, I know Dean Martin. Why don't you come out, you know, you can meet Dean Martin. So, she flies out. At the end of the night, not only does she meet Dean Martin, I take her to the restaurant, not only does she meet Dean Martin, she's in his booth with Dean Martin. Dean Martin and my mother are sitting across from one another. Right? He's holding her hand. And they're gazing into each other's eyes. 4'11". She says, Dean, I'm sitting right there. She's Dean. I've never missed any of your TV shows. I've seen every one of your movies. I have one of your albums. I was like, don't tell me 1 hour. She says, now here you are, looking into my eyes, gazing into my eyes and holding my hand. And Dean Martin said, I swear, he was just like this. He went, that's America. Yeah, really so. Anything else? Because I don't want to take your whole, yes. So.
Hi, do you have anything that you look to as an inspiration, anyone, anything, or as a guide?
You know, that's a really good question. I think, first of all, I really think you can't look to anything else but yourself. I really mean that. I mean, I'm not a religious person any longer. And not that, you know, I don't think anybody should think that, whatever they think. It's just, that's how I feel. I think that this is my life, this is the chance I get, and I have to try to make the most of it in the time that I have. There are moments when I slack off just like everybody else, but there are other moments when I go hard and I try to do my best. I think about my parents an awful lot. Sorry.
You cry a lot here.
No, I don't. I was known for that in school too. I cried all the time. I would wonder, like, what my father might say. You know, my father was a garbage man in the city on the block I lived. I was always on the block I went to school on and lived on. I was always so proud of him because he used to drop me off at school with the truck. Never forget my first day of high school. He let me ride inside the truck. No. But I wonder what he might think about me writing a book. I just wonder what he might think about that. I was lucky because he got to see all of Taxi. He died right at the end of Taxi. And my mother died right at the end of Who's the Boss. It was like, I don't want to get another show. I'm going to lose my else. But I think about them a lot. I think that, and then I have kids. And kids will make you stand up. Because you don't want to show a kid, you know, you could be in the worst situation in your life, but you can't show a kid that you can't handle that, or you'll handle it badly. Because you're giving that kid license, your son or your daughter or your grandson, you're giving, or granddaughter, you're giving them a license almost, this is how I feel anyway, you're giving them a license to act that same way. Whereas, if you show them some kind of character and some kind of demeanor in dealing with things, then that becomes the lesson. So I mean, that may be the only inspiration I can think of. You know, I'm grateful. I really mean, you know, fortunate in ways beyond, I mean, think about it. I'm a garbage man's son. You know, it's crazy. And I was really not good. I mean, I'm really, you know, just not good. I had my moments when I really could have gone in such a different direction. And so I think that it becomes, you know, and now with this education thing, I mean it, guys, you have to understand, we admit in this country to dropping out 1 million kids a year. Now you just have to think about 30 years. You got 30 million uneducated, unhappy adults, and you're gonna have to pay for them. Like, when's the last time you guys read a newspaper? When's the last time? You know what happened yesterday in the Supreme Court?
Yeah, they're debating health.
Yeah, but yesterday it didn't look good for healthcare. It looks like it's gonna go down.
Yeah, but they're making comments on it. They're saying we'd really like to pass this, but
No,
it's full of holes.
nobody's saying they'd like to pass it.
No.
But there is some comment back and forth. But my point is that all of this stuff that you're not paying any attention to is all gonna be your problem. I'm gonna be gone. I'm gonna be like, yeah, well, what a life I had. But it's gonna be your problem. And so you have, there's an article in this month's Esquire, and it's got that one with Sophia Viagra, whatever. She looks like Viagra. Holy Viagra. But inside, I only get it for the article. But inside is an article that states the difference between government spending on people over 65 and people under 12. It's $7 to 1. $7 to 1. And that's because why? They vote. They vote. And that's who they pay. They pay attention to, the people that vote. So you really need to get involved and to get aware and to get your heads out of your iPhones unless there's something with some information on it. Because you really need to know what's going on. And this is all part, America, without an informed electorate, that's what we got now. We got a lot of people that think they know a lot, but people that don't know anything. They've heard these bromides and these sound bites, and it becomes, Bible, gospel to them. That's another part, I don't want to go there. But you have to really take charge. And I'm not preaching one side or the other. I'm really not. And I wish there weren't sides. I was just reading an article, I was telling Doug about Tom Friedman in the New York Times yesterday wrote an article. He's in New Zealand and Australia, and they have a democracy much like ours. They have Republicans and Democrats, but they're all this much. There's no fringes because everybody's required to vote. So you don't, go to your base. You don't gin up your base. You have to please everybody, and so that makes for a much more moderate government. But you guys, this is really important. It's going to be, I hate to say it, but if my parents' generation were the greatest generation, there'd be fascism, World War II, communism, and then the baby boomers came around, screwed the whole thing up, and left it to you the way we are. And I hate to say it, but it's true. So, having said that, I think that this group of people, like my daughter's 19, she goes to Parsons here in the city. I never saw a bunch of kids like that. They're really, energetic and ready to change the world. And that gives me a lot of hope. That gives me a lot of hope. Yes?
I just have a comment more than a question, which is just a thank you for being here. This is so
thank you.
surreal for me when I was looking at and talking to Tony Danza. I have to tell you that for the last few weeks, since I found out that you were coming, I've been dancing around the school and singing the theme song to Who's the Boss. And like, oh my God, Tony Danza's coming. And I've had students say to me, what's your thing with Tony Danza? Tony Danza. And I've thought about that, and I think it's just that you, and I'm sure I speak for other people too, you brought so much joy into my home and my childhood, watching you on Who's the Boss. And so to have you here is just, it's incredible. So thank you. And it as a teacher too, it means so much, because you didn't have to come here, so it means so much that you're
Well, I
here.
don't know if like outside my apartment.
Well, funny comment on that actually. One of my students a little while ago, before we came down here, Chris Miller, said, so, what, Jennifer basically accosted Tony Danza? And I said, no, Jennifer wouldn't do that. But apparently Chris ran
Yes, sir.
Given your background and what you were saying with the Italian neighborhood and coming from Brooklyn, I'd like to suggest you look at on YouTube Bensonhurst Spelling Bee.
Okay.
Lorraine Bracco and the guy on Sopranos with the silver streaks in his hair. On the
Tony
Monterey's.
Sirico, my pal,
It's screamingly funny.
Is Kelly Ripa in that one? Is that
Yes,
the one with
yes.
Kelly Ripa?
You saw it?
No, I'm not interested.
It's the hell out of
I'm
it.
not interested. When she becomes a comedy star, I'll start watching.
No,
Okay. I mean, she's wonderful at what she does.
Oh.
Funny or die, give me a break. Yes.
Just one more comment. You know, also definitely echo what Jenny said. I'm Diana. And the other part is I think that the most amazing part about sort of your career over time is that where you've landed now and where you're going. Because I think, you know, I certainly grew up watching Taxi. I saw Who's Boss, that part. But I think your evolution of looking into education and looking at all these experiences, you know, knowing that you were a fighter, like those kinds of things, all these experiences, we wouldn't know that just looking on sort. I didn't know these things about you. And for me, I think that that's really critical for, I think, our kids to see, for us to see as professionals, kind of take.
Well, listen, I agree with you, and my book's coming out, and I'm going to be promoting, and I'll be talking about this, and it is important when I talk about it. But it's more important that I have this in me. I mean, I love for the world to know, but it's not important. What's really important is that I'm trying to find my way. I'm telling you, I'm into this whole existential belonging now. It's really kind of crazy, yeah. It's really nuts, so. But thank you, I appreciate it. Yes?
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
no, don't worry, it's nothing too serious. Of course, the minute I start talking, I lose my train of thought. But,
Happens to me a lot, man. Get it?
well, again, thank you for coming, I appreciate it. And I always feel like, because see, I'm like, you said that you always see like all kinds of people like Ella Fitzgerald, Michael Jackson, like, I'm the exact opposite. I sometimes like walk around New York like, I want to see someone famous. And I never do. So like the fact that you came to the school, I'm like, yeah, tell me, man. I met someone famous.
Well, wait a minute, I'm in the neighborhood. I get my hair cut around the corner. I mean, I'm in this neighborhood. How do you think she found me?
Oh, Jennifer.
We'll see each other.
Jennifer can't find people.
I'm gonna have to come check on you.
Yeah, feel free to send me a letter.
All right.
Thank you, and I just want to say, when I did meet you on the street, I was so taken with your depth and how earnest you were and how gracious and generous.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And people may know you for Who's the Boss, but I think we're one of the luckiest groups because we get to know you for so much.
Oh, well, thank you.
So
I
much.
appreciate it. Thank you very
so
much.
much.
It was my pleasure. I really enjoyed meeting all of you. Oh, now you talk. Oh, is that holy moly. I tell you, I would have come sooner.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. What's your name?
Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. This is. Yeah.
A week ago, I was riding the train. I think it might be the R train or something like that. And I think you came on at 59th Street, I believe, or somewhere there. I mean, you were sitting right across from me. And I knew that you were coming to school, and I think, I don't want to introduce myself, and But then, what struck me though was the humility you evinced. You had a smile on your face, and there's a warmth.
You sure I wasn't just scared?
No, you weren't. But it really struck me, and I was really, really impressed.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm trying. It's not, let me tell you, I have my moments, and I've had, there's actually, I've had my moments. Let me leave it like that. But I'm really of a frame of mind that, and it started. I really did start with Philadelphia with the teaching thing. It puts you in a different place, and I'm trying to, trying to do that. I'm trying to stay there. So I'm trying to do that. Anything else? Anything else?
Play another song.
No way.
Let's see. No, I'll come back. I'll come back. This has been really great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Again, thank you very much. All right. Just a reminder about the schedule for the rest of the
Afternoon. Okay, so fifth and sixth.